Hello, mathematicians. Welcome to our first official math lesson. So, as you may recall, I am Miss Taylor. Nice to see you all again. All right, so today we're going to talk about what do we need for math. So this is a little review for us. Here are our math materials. We need our fact practice packet, and I have mine right here. We need our textbook. Here's mine. We need our workbook. Here's my book. And we need paper and a pencil or a whiteboard. Now, well, you definitely need a pencil for homework also, I should say, but I kind of like to use a whiteboard. It's sort of a little more fun for me to write on a whiteboard. And then one thing that's not listed here, you might also need some kind of an eraser. I like to use this little sock, this little black sock, but you could use just kind of like a paper towel or a tissue. And then at the bottom here, it says you might also need your place value chart. And we are going to be looking a little bit at our place value chart today. So that would be a good thing to have with you. And if you don't have yours, you can go ahead and take it out or try to find it. You can kind of pause this video, try to find it. Or you can kind of just follow along and watch me. All right, so when we have all of those things, we're ready for our math class. And this is what our math lesson will look like. So each day we're going to do a little bit of fact practice. We are going to look a little bit in our textbook, kind of look at some pages together. We're going to work through some practice problems. And then you have your homework, which is your workbook. And you're going to have to submit some photos of your workbook. And usually Ms. Taylor will ask you to submit one picture of the last page of your workbook. And that kind of helps me. And I usually give you one page to submit. So let's go ahead and get started with our fact practice. So here is our fact practice packet. And we are doing page 3 today, down here at the bottom. Oh, and also please make sure that you are working on fact practice packet number 1. So it should have a number 1 by it because there's also a number 2, and that's for later. But for this one, you should have hopefully already finished pages 1 and 2 on Monday and Tuesday earlier this week. And then I mentioned that the goal for these is for us to finish these very quickly. So you might be thinking, well, Miss Taylor, 0 plus 2, 4 plus 2, these are not so tricky. Okay. And I know they're not very tricky, but it's really good review and practice and just getting us warmed up for math. It kind of puts us into our kind of math mode. So our goal is to get us warmed up and to get quicker and faster with our facts. And so that we can master them and then we can move on to kind of harder stuff. And also just to get our brains kind of used to numbers and digits again. Like, okay, I see these, now we're doing a little bit of math. So again, our goal is to finish this in less than 2 minutes, maybe less than 1 minute. One idea that I shared is to time yourself. So I have a little timer here, and I'm going to see how quickly I can do my fact practice packet. Now, I won't always do this with you, but I thought it'd be a good idea to try it. So, see if I can put my timer here. And if you're wondering, I'm using a blue pen. Sometimes I use this one so that you can see my answers better. Now, for you, you should be using a pencil. So hopefully you have some pencils at home and you can be doing these. But I kind of use a pencil or a marker, a blue pen sometimes so that you can see it more clearly on the videos. All right, so we're ready? See how quickly Ms. Taylor can do this. And then you can try it. Ready? Go. Okay. 11, 4, 7, 2. If I make a mistake, you can tell me. Say, oh, Ms. Taylor, you made a mistake. 8, 2, 11, 4, 5. Ooh, how quickly can I do it? Ooh. just over 30 seconds. I know I did one the other day and I was like 22 seconds. So do you see any mistakes? Does Miss Taylor have any mistakes here? Let's see. And if we do have mistakes, that is totally okay. We just have to get out our big eraser. And we can really learn from our mistakes when we make them. And so speaking of learning from our mistakes, you may have noticed, oh, Miss Taylor, the answers are on the back side. Crazy teacher, why'd you put the answers on there? Well, the reason I put the answers on the back is because it's really good for our brains to get that immediate feedback. So after I do my problems, after I've got my math mind warmed up, then I'm going to just really quickly check my answers on the back side. So what I can do is look at, okay, I've got 11, 4, 7, 2, 6. 11, 4, 7, 2, 6. Nice job. Let me look at this next row. 3, 7, 8, 2, 11. 3, 7, 8, 2, 11. All right. So that is how we're going to check our fact practice packet. Just kind of doing it quickly. Our goal is to finish this in less than 2 minutes. Definitely less than 2 minutes. If 2 minutes you think, oh, that's not much of a challenge for me, Miss Taylor, try 1 minute. If 1 minute is not much of a challenge, try 30 seconds. So I know for me, I've been doing these in about 30 seconds. So maybe my new goal, I should try to do it in less than 20 seconds. So try to think about what would be a good goal for you. All right. So now that we have done our fact practice, we're going to move on to our textbook. So in our textbook, we are going to look at pages 8 and 9 together. And we're going to be practicing a little bit with place value with tens and ones today. So we know a little bit about place value from last year, of course, and we have some numbers here. When we have numbers, we often have some numbers in the ones place, the tens place, and the hundreds place. And so we're not going to worry about the hundreds place right now today. We're just going to focus on these two columns. All right, so looking back, here we have some markers, and you can see that the markers are in groups of 10. So we have some groups here, and when things are in groups of 10, we can count them by tens. Let's go ahead and try that. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And so if we have 8 tens is the same as 80, and they've put it right there. So 80 is here, and then we have a few stragglers over here. We have 3 ones over here. So 3 markers that don't fit into a group of 10. Oh, I guess they're crayons, not markers. Okay, so we have our 80 plus 3, and that makes 83. And you'll notice when we write this number, this digit, we have a little hyphen that separates the tens and the ones place. And we'll practice that more tomorrow with how to write these numbers, these 2-digit numbers. But just to draw your attention to, we do have a hyphen, a little dash between them. So 80 and 3 make 83. Now, if we wanted to do a show what that looked like on our place value chart, I can kind of show you what that would look like. Let's see. Let me just squish this over a little bit there. Lift this up just for a minute. There we go. There's our tens and ones. Okay, now, oops, punk. You should have also come home with some of these place value pieces. So we have hundreds and tens. I think those are the red ones. Tens and ones. So if we wanted to show 83, how many tens would we need? Did you say 8? Nice job. So we can put this on our place value chart. So I would need 8 of these. There we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 3. So we put our 83 on here, and that is how we would show the number 83. 3. And they also showed us how to write the number 83. And again, we're going to practice this a little bit more tomorrow, but I wanted to let you know there's also another little paper that you hopefully brought home. Oh, here it is. And this shows you how to spell some of these number words. So when we work on this tomorrow, you will see, oh, here's how I spell the number 8. And so 80, oh, actually, here's 80. So these are all the 1-digit numbers, and we get to 10. And then these are in the teens. And then these are going by 10. So there's how you spell 80 and 3. And then all we need to do is put a little dash between them to show 83. Now, before we move on from here, I wanted to mention something that would be really good practice for you today would be to just kind of play around with your place value chart, put some numbers on here, and then see if you can say what number it is. So you could do this and say, oh, what number is it? Did you say 61? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 61. Or you could ask a parent or a helper or big brother or sister or someone to say a number that has tens and a 1. So to say a 2-digit number, and then you show them what that looks like. So perhaps someone would say, like, this problem about how many mangoes there are, and we can solve that problem, right? We can see there are groups of 10, so that would be 10, 20, 30, 40, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 5, and that would be 45. So 40 and 5 make 45. 5 more than 40 is 45, and 40 plus 5 is 45. Now, if you could kind of reverse it and say, oh, I'm going to show you what 45 looks like. So if a friend said, oh, show me 45, and then you would put it on your chart. Okay, well, I'm going to have 4 10s and 5 1s. And so that's another thing that you could do to practice today with your 10s and 1s, because today we're kind of reviewing and just practicing 10s and 1s. What do we say? 45, I think, right? Whoops. So you could put 45 on there, okay? And then maybe someone said, oh, what about 22? And you could say, oh, let me see how fast I can do 22. Is this 22? Yep, okay. Ooh, let me see how fast I can do 34. 3 10s, right? Okay, there's my 30. Whoops, got my 3 10s. 34, did you say? 34, yeah, I think you said 34. Done. Okay, so have some fun with your place value chart and see if you can practice your 10s and 1s, so 2-digit numbers. Okay, I should also mention that if you want to, you may also write on this. It's laminated, so we can write on it a little bit. So we just did the mango problem. There were 45 mangoes. There were 45 mangoes. So there were 4 10s and 5 1s. And let's see if this works. Hopefully this works. Oh, yep, good. Okay. All right. So then let's take a look at one more problem in our textbook. It says, this is number 2, how many stamps are there? And let's see. This little person over here is telling us we can count by 10s because they are lined up in rows of 10. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 in each row. So rows go side to side, horizontal. So 10 in each row. So we can count by 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So there are 100 stamps. And 10 10s makes 100. All right, so 10 10s makes 100. Are we sure? Do 10 10s really make 100? I might need to check that. I might need to just check that. Wait a second. 10 of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, 10. So this is 10 tens. Let me just see about that. Does this make 100? Can you count with me? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. It is. All right, awesome. So again, today, kind of just thinking about tens and ones, it would be a really good idea for you to make sure you understand number 1 and 2 on page 9 in your textbook. And if you want to, you can write it down on a piece of paper. You could practice on a whiteboard if you would like to. So this is kind of just practice. And you can also check your answers with my picture that you'll see down below. I have a picture of my work in the assignment down below. And then your homework for today, let's take out our workbook. Here's our workbook. And your homework is, oh, and speaking of, when you open up your workbook, you probably saw that there was one of these in there and also one of these. So this is the steps that we follow to solve word problems. So we're going to use that this year. And then this one is kind of just a handy paper, sort of a really good reference or tool for us when we are writing numbers and thinking about how we spell them. So normally when we're in school, I ask my math students to glue this paper into their workbook. And we usually glue it right on the inside cover. So if you want to do that, that would be a really prudent idea. You just kind of glue it right like this, and so that it's always there. So you might want to do that. And then, or if you wanted to kind of cut it, some students like to cut it so that it fits kind of like here, or you could glue it in here, but really whatever you'd like to do is just fine. And we are going to work on page, this is exercise 1. So your homework for today is pages 7, 8, and 9. So there's page 7, there's page 8, and page 9. And normally when we're doing our workbook, and I will ask you to submit a picture to upload a photo of your homework. And usually I just ask you to upload a picture of one page so that I can kind of just check that one page, and then parents don't have to upload like 2 or 3 or 4 pictures. It's kind of a lot for parents and other caregivers to do. So we're just going to upload one page. There we go. All right, so let's take a look at our homework. We are going to write the numbers in the boxes. So here we're just going to write the digits. When we talk about digits, that just means the numbers like this. This is a digit. This is a digit. This is a digit. So these are all digits. It's just kind of a fancy word for numbers. But sometimes in your math workbook, you might notice that they ask you to write the numbers or write the digits. And then sometimes they might ask you to write the number in words. So when they ask us to write it in words, that means this, or this, or this. And again, we're going to practice these writing numbers in words tomorrow, where it will be really convenient for you to look at this paper to help us to spell 1, 2, 3, so that you know how to spell those. Okay, so on this page, we're just going to write the numbers in the boxes. So we can see here that these are groups of 10. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, so this is 10. So we would go like this: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So we have 50, and you can go ahead and write the 5 there in the tens place if you would like to, and then you can count the ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one would be 58. So you just write 5, 8, 58. Okay, so you're just going to write the number of how many of these different objects that you see. And the same for the next page. And then on page 9, we are also kind of looking at how many objects there are, and we're going to fill in the blanks. So this one, you can see there's 10 here, and 10 here, and 10 here, and then there's 7 ones. So there are 3 10s, in other words, 30, and 7. And 30 and 7 make 37. Oh, hi, kitty. My kitty just came down. 7 more than 30. So here's 30. What's 7 more? 37. And so, hence, 30 plus 7 equals 37. Did you notice the answer is all the same for those? All right, so you're going to finish pages 7, 8, and 9, and then you're going to take a picture of page 9. And this is page 9. And then you're going to upload it to your Google Classroom, to our math classroom. And just remember to click on Turn In. And that way, each day, Ms. Taylor will get to see your work. And then if there's something that it looks like you're struggling with, I can help. And yeah, that's how that will work. So let's see if we are all set for our math lesson. We did our fact practice. We did our textbook. We did some practice problems together. And now it is time for you to do your workbook. And then you're going to submit some photos. So good luck, mathematicians. Let me know if you need any help. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye.